Hi, everybody. Carla Archer here with you, helping you work on your wellness. Hope you're doing wonderful today. Thanks for joining us live or catching the recording. And today I have a very special guest with me. I'd like to introduce you to Cindy Brockway. Hi, Cindy.
Hello.
How are you
I'm glad
today?
to be here. I'm good.
Good, good. Well, I had the pleasure of meeting Cindy a little while ago and having a conversation with her and getting to know a little bit more about what she does as a certified self-love coach. She has such incredibly valuable information. She has wonderful Facebook pages, very inspiring. And I'm just so happy that you agreed to join with me today and chat a little bit more about what you do and the importance of self-love and how everybody needs a little bit of that. So welcome, Cindy.
Well, thank you. And it is nice to be here. I think that everybody needs more than a little self-love. I think it's something that we all could benefit from developing in our lives. And when you are engaged in a deep dive as far as self-love goes, it's a good way to demystify being a human. Because we humans sometimes go through life and we're just going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny, but the meaning and the fulfillment is just not there. So I'm all about helping people embrace the reality that with using just some mindful, some meaningful, sustainable little self-expansion activities, it is the quickest way to enhance your life. And so I'm looking at helping people be the best version of themselves and giving them the tools to be able to rewrite those scripts that keep us from moving forward, that keep us treading water.
Absolutely. Now, Cindy, tell us a little bit about your background. You're an educator and we were just talking about all the different things that you do. You're a woman of many different facets, you said.
Yeah, I have a lot of talents. I enjoy doing a lot of things. I'm creative in that I do love making jewelry. I love crafts and arts. Part of that is because I am a teacher by heart. I had a 30-year career. In fact, I'm still in that career, 30 plus years working in special education in the elementary and middle school levels. And if you know a teacher personally, you know that teachers have to really think outside the box. So I've been very creative over the years in working with kids with special needs, and especially the kids that I work with are low incidence population kids. And so it's a challenge to be able to get them meaningfully engaged in the learning process. So that's what I've spent my life doing, is researching how to help people and children, students, to really beat the odds by putting some simple steps in place and some repetition that can really help them to move forward. So I did that for 30 years. I'm in the very end of my career right now. I'm planning on retiring a little bit early. I'm
Mhm.
winding down, working part-time. And then the last few years, I've sort of changed gears a little bit. I'm transitioning into educating outside of the classroom, educating more globally, and of course, reaching out to adults who, in very many ways, are similar to those kids with special needs. Each one of us have our own gifts, and whether we can be able to dig in, find out those gifts, and go with it is another story, because sometimes we get stuck in ruts, and just like my kids in the classroom, they get stuck and they need a little boost. So I'm the booster.
You're the booster.
I'm the booster. Yeah. So I teach. I also make jewelry. We have a vacation rental in the mountains with a hot tub. So we've got our hands in quite a few things, but all of it revolves around nature and being able to do the things you love and putting your best foot forward.
Excellent. Well, and I love what you say about, the importance of self-care. And, we talked before about how it isn't selfish to care about yourself, although many people have that belief that it is. And talk a little bit more about that and why it's okay to take time to take care of yourself.
Well, because self-care is not like a one and done thing. Self-care is a lifestyle.
Mhm.
And if you don't implement steps for positive self-care, then your body, mind, and spirit is going to suffer for it. And so, what I do is help people determine what those steps are. I have a program that I coach, and it teaches consistent small action steps to changing their world and making it what is best for them to be able to have unconditional self acceptance, unconditional acceptance of others, being able to simplify that self-care and not making it complicated, because in our society there are many avenues for self-care that are out there, and you need to be able to choose for yourself what works best for you. And then I really focus on the concept of being proactive in your self-care and your health care, so that you're not playing catch up or trying to put out fires or living in chaos, so that you have the tools to move forward. Even when you get thrown a monkey wrench in there, you can rebound and move more quickly for extraordinary results. You're not just trying to play catch up all the time.
Right. And this is just another piece of the puzzle. Like you said, this is body, mind, spirit. It's so imperative that we take care of our emotional well-being and ourself in all facets, because we're the only one we've got. This is it. This is our one body, our one life, our one chance. And it's so very important that we take a look at us. I love this. I pulled this from your Facebook page, one of the posts that you have: when self-care and self-love merge, the results are extraordinary. And it's so very true.
Well, where I come from, as far as my movement and where I am right now, there was a time in my life when I felt broken, completely broken. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that. And I was sad. And on top of it all, I was unhealthy because of all of it. And it was self-love, learning how to activate that self-love and merging it with that self-care, that has enabled me to be able to approach challenges with confidence and to move forward. And for people to be able to, and sometimes we take this for granted, because we are in a position, we're going, and we figure there's not a lot we can do, because this is the lot I've been given in life. But if you can learn some simple steps for developing that self-love, for refining your ambition, for leveling up your inner strength, then you're going to be able to face the future as a different person.
Absolutely.
And for me, it was learning how to face the future as me, Cindy Brockway, not the teacher of 28 kids every single day, not the mom, not the wife, although those positions are extremely important. It's being able to face the future as myself and being confident doing it, and being able to rise up against adversity, whether that's adversity from without, or the things that I deal with within this body of mine.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so true. And I think so many people have become in the habit of looking externally for things to be corrected. Or I even read a post today where a girl said, well, I wanted to let her know what she was doing to me. And wonderful thing about the business that I'm involved in is that it's really all about you. And it really, I won't say forces you, but you are driven towards taking a look at you and realizing that your energy, your mindset, how you believe and perceive in things, your confidence and posturing, that is going to make such a significant difference in how people respond to you, how you grow your business, and how you move forward. So it's so very, very true that it's worth taking the time to invest in yourself, because the benefits are huge.
Well, they are. And the thing is that if you do not dig deeper, if you just go with the status quo, you just do what's expected of you from without, you're missing out on a lot because there is so much in there, so much creativity, so much opportunity to be and evolve and grow that you're missing out on when you don't do those deeper dives, when you don't dig in and figure out what is it in me that lights that spark sometimes. You
Yeah.
know, being able to just really examine and put a framework in place to where you examine yourself on a regular basis, not just when you have fallen apart and you don't think you can take another step. That's not any way to live.
Right.
You
And
want to be proactive.
absolutely. And like you said, we have so many different hats that we wear in our life. And it's really important to really get to know who we are fundamentally and what we want. And just from my own experience, too, I feel like the more that I do that, the better that I am for everybody else in my life. I can be a better wife, a better teammate, a better leader, a better sister, because I feel better about myself. And that's really important. So if somebody's struggling right now and they're unhappy in a situation, what do they always say? You look in the mirror, because what's the common constant? You can pack your bags and go somewhere else, but who's still there? It's always you, right?
Right. And a lot of people zone out when they get to that point. It is so overwhelming that they zone out in whatever way that might be, Facebook, reading, whatever it is that you do to escape. But being able to dig in instead of zone out and losing out, dig in and empower yourself. It's rewarding, it's exhilarating. And that's when you do that, you give yourself an opportunity to just rise above and be something you never thought you were. You're able to take a creative role in what's going on in your life. You're not just reacting and responding. You're taking a creative role in your own evolution as a person.
And I love that you say that, that it can be overwhelming and an evolution. Those are two very imperative words to talk about, because it is fearful. It can seem incredibly overwhelming. You don't know what to do or how this is going to evolve exactly, but one step at a time, right? So if somebody came to you and they were in a predicament where they just were like, I'm just not happy. I know I need to do something. I feel overwhelmed. What are some of the first steps that you would recommend for them?
Well, some of the first steps I would recommend is putting some conscious discipline into their day. Being able to consciously set up some routines, consistency, because that's what it takes in order for you to be able to change and embrace what's going on, is to have some consistent routines, and not those routines that have you just treading water, doing the same thing over and over again, the mundane, but putting steps in place that help you to actively dig in and refine what's going on. It takes a lot of self-reflection. It takes time. And through coaching, through mentoring, finding an accountability partner, you have someone that's in your court that can help you go step to step. And in my particular program, there is a curriculum that goes along with it that once you get involved with it and you start utilizing it, you have access to it for a lifetime, 24/7, to be able to go in, use the exercises, and expand. It's sort of a beginning self-love activator program that is laid out for you. It takes the guesswork out. It's been used over the years with much success. It gives you a starting point. It gives you a foundation, and you don't have to do the thinking. You go in, you get started, and then you let your own inner strength show up and make progress.
Absolutely. And I'll attest to that too, because it depends, no matter what program you're in, sometimes it can seem overwhelming. Where do I start? Where do I begin? You know what? My advice, just pick one thing and start working on it and commit to it. Like you said, make it consistent. And it's no different than working out your bicep or your legs or whatever you're doing. You need to do it regularly. It needs the focus. It needs the attention. And we've talked for a while, Cindy, and I so enjoy our conversation. The rewards are so great. If somebody's wondering, yeah, but you know what, I don't know if I can do that. I so encourage you to invest in yourself, because wow, I've been doing it for, well, my whole life slowly, but really in the last year. And what a difference I've noticed in, how I've changed and evolved my posturing, how I feel about myself, how I feel about others. So really key.
Yeah, it really is key. And, guided self-expansion, studying about what self-expansion is, the rewards are really endless. It's something as a Christian person, a person of faith, that I thought, sometimes investing in myself in this way is in a way, saying that I'm not coping, I'm not relying on the Lord. But I've learned that it actually is using the tools that He's put before me to be able to move forward and to have some strength and to have some accountability with some partners or a mentor.
Absolutely. And I think it's really good to let people know that it's okay and that they're not alone in these struggles. We all have different experiences. We have exposures, we have traumas, we have things that, we haven't dealt with. And this is very normal, and it's okay and acceptable. So seek help. Start working on yourself. Again, like we said, it's not selfish to care about yourself. It's really rather important, because the best version of you will rub off on other people. People will see the changes in you, and they start behaving differently. So if you are dealing with a spouse or a coworker or children or something that, just the reaction isn't there, you'll be pleasantly surprised at the shift in those people as well, just by changing yourself.
It's true, because personal empowerment not only empowers yourself, it influences everyone in your circle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like an arrows out thing. What's happening in here goes out and affects everybody in your relationship, because if it's not good here, it's not good there.
Right, exactly. Because your energy is so key and so important. And I'm learning that more and more all the time, through business coaching and other programs that I'm involved in, is where you're at, your thoughts, your energy, your frame of mind sets the tone for absolutely everything that goes on in your day and in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I love this too, that I pulled from your Facebook page, that you have the ability within us. I love that encouragement, start, don't look down the road, start here, square one, and just start working, because you'll be surprised at what evolves on its own naturally, right?
Right. And that's the thing that I tell every single one of my clients is, you start here, right here. Don't, we're going to think and talk about that stuff, but right now, today, you can start here and move forward. You can't let that stuff hold you back. Right. You've got that ability. Just start now, because there's so much baggage there. There's no way that you can deal with it all and say, oh, I'm better.
Yeah.
You have to start small. And that's what it's about. Starting small, putting in place these little sustainable action steps, and you would be surprised at how quickly your life transforms.
What I found happened a lot too is that I would recognize, okay, say if there was a trigger, and then my natural pattern would be such that I was now so much more aware that I caught myself. So instead of the normal pattern that I would slip into, I went, hey, hold on a second. Okay, like, we're not going to do that anymore. And that in itself was so refreshing. And to be able to go, okay, I see it now, rather than, do you find a lot of people, they're just going through the motions, just like you said at the beginning, it's repeat, repeat, repeat.
Right. And, it's not, I know people are saying right now, wash, rinse, repeat. Some things And I just did a live on this in my group yesterday. Some things, they need to be purged. You know, we develop habits, good or bad. And a lot of us have developed habits that no longer work for us. They worked for a time, they worked when they had to, they worked when you had no choice. But you have a choice. And if you want to move forward from where you're at now, then you have all the opportunity in the world to take that first step.
And you deserve it.
And you deserve it.
Yeah. You know, recognizing your self-worth is so important. And when you understand how you impact the big picture of your life, you are worth the investment. And what I love about what you do, Cindy, is that, you know, we need guidance. We need, I would highly recommend a coach to anybody, because just having that third party individual to talk to, you don't have to worry about offending your spouse or your sister, your mother, whoever. And they have the tools. They have the tools because they have the experience. And so there's such incredible value in what you do.
Well, yes, and it helps you make progress quicker. And that's what I found out in my life. I was doing it my way. And my way eventually was not the right way for me. It was not getting me any farther than where I already was. I was in a rut. I was treading water, and I needed someone to help me get over the hump and point me in the right direction. They didn't do the work for me, but they pointed me in the right direction and they guided me along the way. And now that's what my mission is about, is doing the same for other people, pointing them in the right direction and then helping them find their own discoveries that are going to lead to extraordinary results.
Perfect. Yeah, that's fantastic. And that accountability too. There's something to be said about accomplishing something when there's accountability involved, because as many of us know, myself included, sometimes you'll start something and then, you know, it's easy for 3-4 days to go by and you're not doing it anymore. But I always knew, when I was in my coaching program, I knew every week we would be talking. And so I knew that I needed to take care of what I needed to do during that week. And I love that. I love that because it's all about forming habits. And that is so imperative to consistency and down the road, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. We develop habits one way or another. It's either habits of neglect or habits of growth. And so I'm here to encourage people to adopt habits of growth.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit more about your coaching programs. Can people join at any point in time, or do you have specific training or a mix of both going on?
Well, the way my program works is it's individualized. So I coach one-on-one, and they can join anytime they want to. It's a 4-week program, and we chat and we set up a time. They get access to the curriculum, which is exclusive access. It's not something that's available online. And then we talk each week for 4 weeks as they walk through the step-by-step process for activating their self-love. And this is kind of the beginning professional development. You know, it's beginning that deep dive. It's not expecting you to walk in and do some massive steps to move forward. That comes later. This is for the person who wants the beginning steps. They want a little nudge and they're ready to move forward and get going. And then we just coach for about 4 weeks, and that gets you well on your way to developing patterns. There's a lot to be said for putting something in place for at least 30 days to help it become a habit. And so that's what the basis of my program is to help you develop those first 30 days of habit. And then if you're ready for that deeper dive, then I'm there to take you in that respect as well.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So people can visit you on your Facebook page, Cindy Brockway. That's a great way to, I encourage you to go visit her page. It's just lovely. You have such lovely ways of your posts, your pictures, the things that you say, very enjoyable. So check that out. And that's a great way to be able to connect with you as well, Cindy.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good way.
Okay, perfect. And then you also have another group, right? Essentials for Peace and Balance, Courageous and Tenacious Self-Care. And that's a closed group that you have?
Yes, that's a closed group that I have for people that want to learn about complementary therapies like self-love coaching, like proactive healthcare, like a lot of different therapies out there that people can use in as alternatives or complementary therapies to what they're already doing now. So you can go in there, learn a lot about a lot, but it also fine tunes it for you too, depending on what it is you're looking for. So it's really about consistent, small action steps. So I offer a lot of action steps. The consistency is through the coaching. There's a lot of things that people are offering you out there. And I venture to say that a lot of people listening to this have tried many, many, many things to kickstart their self-care or their self-expansion, but the consistency hasn't been there and it's fallen through the cracks.
Yeah,
So if you can join a group that is more fine-tuned, that's smaller, and that helps you every single day along the way, you're going to have a little bit more success.
absolutely. And give it the time. I've been in a program for business, let's just say, as a story to relate to that, for a year. Well, within the first month, hey, I was just starting to figure out what I was supposed to be doing, how to navigate around, start just looking at what was going on and where the areas maybe I needed to look at. And for the last year, every day, that consistency of the messaging and of the learning and investing in myself, that's really what it takes. So like so many things, and I love that you talk about complementary therapies, and that's sort of what brought us together in the first place. We're both from complementary therapy worlds, and it's all about working on your wellness in a variety of different ways. And but give it the time. In my business, I know I run into so many people, and people nowadays they're looking for the quick fix. They want to take a pill and they want to be better tomorrow, and they don't want to do the work. And we talked a little bit about that too, and how important it is to commit to something and try it and give it a good try.
Right. And that's exactly what was just going through my mind. So I guess great minds think alike. I really feel like there's three things that hold people back when it comes to self-expansion or self-love or self-care. Is the very first one that you said, we're wanting a quick fix. Either you want the pill, you want whatever it is, you want it to be done. You go to the doctor, if it's depression, if it's being overweight, if it's, pain, you want a pill and be done. But it doesn't work that way. So that's one thing that I think we need to overcome in our thinking, is there is no quick fix. Right. There's lots of action steps that get you there. The next one is having a poor assessment of yourself, thinking that I'm not that bad, or I can do it later, or there's a lot of people that are worse off than me, discounting the need. So you're not accurately assessing what's going on. You're not knowing that every time you turn away a possible solution to make yourself feel better and put your body in a better position, you're making yourself worse. They think that they're not, just because they're not acting, that nothing's getting worse, but it's not getting better. No. And then the last one is that consistency piece that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So you got, those are the three things to me in a nutshell that keep people from making progress, from getting healthier, and from feeling healthier and happier inside out.
Yes. And a lot of people have, it's fear-based. I know there's been a lot of new things that I've had to approach and learn, like StreamYard, for example, in my business. And I was fighting it. I was like a donkey that you were pulling through the mud because I was scared. I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to learn this. And the more that I keep expanding that and challenging myself to learn more, then the easier it becomes. You don't have to pull me quite hard all the time. And so I really encourage people to, give it a go and commit to themselves, because oftentimes I'll talk to you about how, if you had a vehicle, you take care of it. You get the oil changed, you make sure you got new tires on it, because that's what's going to take you from point A to point B. You need to get around, get your food and everything. Well, our bodies and ourselves are really no different. This is our vehicle, and we should be taking good care of it and making sure everything's working good.
Well, and the thing is, if you continue with that scenario, what happens if you don't maintain your car?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eventually, it's not going to serve you. It's not
No.
going to even start. So, being able to reach out and embrace something new, take on that fear a little bit, and take some playful empowerment. That's what this is about. Playful empowerment. Have fun. Don't look at it as a daunting chore or something you have to do. Look at it as an exciting opportunity to invest in yourself and see where it takes you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Now, what would you say to somebody who said, you know what, it's just too late. There's nothing I can do about it.
Well, it's not too late. It's never too late. And of course, that's something when you're an educator, you believe that everybody can learn at any time in their life. And we know for a fact, I know for a fact that in my life, I didn't start my self-love journey and this path to renewal until I was in my late 50s. So it's never too late, and any bit of growth that you can make, any bit of improvement or excitement or uh, joy or creativity that you can bring into your life at any time, isn't it worth it? I mean, when you compare it to the opposite,
Yeah.
being down and out and depressed and lonely and stuff, how about infusing it with a little bit of spontaneity?
Yeah. Just take that first step. That's the most important
Take
thing.
that first
Take
step.
take the first step and see what happens. And again, remind yourself that you are worth it. And there's nothing. You are never a failure. You are never a failure for attempting something. In fact, you are the greatest success if you take even one step forward in the direction that you need to be going.
Yep. And each of us are evolving every single day. There's no way to stop it. So when we say that it's too late, you're trying to stop life. There's no way to stop life. Well,
Yeah.
there is, but I mean, it's going to keep going whether you're actively involved in it or not. So
Right.
let's take an active part.
Yeah, and having the tools to be able to have a happier, healthier life, like you talked about, is really important because for many of us, let's hope that we live a long life and we'd want it to be full. And I like having you on here today, Cindy, to talk about this because I think for a lot of people, they don't know where to turn. They don't know that this is normal and they need to hear that it is and it's okay and that there are people out there that can help them start their journey.
Well, and I know for myself, when things in my life started falling apart, I felt the same way. I was embarrassed, ashamed. I did not want people to know. I put that smile on. I said everything was fine, but it wasn't.
Right.
And over time, it really took its toll on me. And fortunately, though, I was able to reach out and to ask for help. To me, that's the first step, is asking for help.
Yeah. And in my area of business, as like many, a person's story is so important. Now we work online a lot, and people will sometimes become disillusioned with what they see everybody else having a perfect life, or they're always having fun and doing this and that. And I really love that about our business because connecting to a story, just like you shared, that makes you feel okay, makes it real because you will know what it's like for that person that you're working with because you've gone through that yourself.
Yeah, yes. We all have our own baggage. And being willing to open up and share about it is freeing. And at the same time, you're helping the other person because they're in the same boat. We've all been through it in one way or another, to one level or another.
Right.
And some of us are able to take that first step, and other people are still fighting it and holding back, like you said. So let go.
Yeah.
Let go.
Now, Cindy, if somebody wanted to connect with you to see if you guys were the right fit for each other, can they reach out to you on Facebook and then set up a time to have a call or a video call?
Absolutely. Yeah. They can reach out to me through Facebook Messenger, and then we'll get in touch right away. I usually am pretty quick about responding. And they're also welcome to go visit my group. It's Essentials for Peace and Balance. If they search that, they can find that group, Essentials for Peace and Balance. and join that group, and then we'll be on our way.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Cindy. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you and to get to know a little bit about what you do and what you offer, your experience, and really talking about self-care. I know on my page here, Helping You Work on Your Wellness, we're always talking about different components of that wellness puzzle and how important self-care is. And it's so nice to know that there's somebody as lovely and wonderful and experienced as you are out there who can help people get that first step and head down that right path to start taking care of themselves just like they deserve.
Yes, I appreciate that. And both of us, I think, are in that same avenue of thinking as far as we're there to help you be the best you can be.
Absolutely. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me today again, Cindy. And thank you for watching today or watching the replay. If you aren't following me already, you can check me out here at Carla Archer, Helping You Work on Your Wellness on Facebook. Like and follow me and see what other information that I have to offer to help you along your journey with your wellness. All those little pieces of that puzzle that go so nicely together. Take good care and thanks again. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, Cindy.
Bye-bye.